My name is Gabby DeLorenz, your anatomy expert. Today we're going to be going through a myofascial flow. This flow can be taken as fast or as slow as you'd like. Feel free to pause when you want. You can always go through whatever the myofascial release is and then add in your own activation if you have a different way that you want to activate. I always love to release and then activate, usually simultaneously, but it doesn't have to be. So you'll see as we go through this. What you will need for today's flow is just any sort of a ball. I'm using a tennis ball here. They have pretty fancy balls you can buy. Tennis balls work really great, as well as the cross balls. It's going to be a little bit harder for you. And then we're going to start with a block as well. If you don't have a block, a few taller books that you can stack on top of each other, encyclopedias and dictionaries, all that kind of stuff. Any of my anatomy books work really well as well. So to start, please come to line your back with your block and your tennis ball not too far by. So you are going to start with the block somewhere around your sacrum. So this is right where your pant line is, but closer to your hips. So put that there. And you're gonna come to line your back. Your feet can extend long in front of you if that feels good. If it's too much pressure on your low back or your abdomen, simply bend your knees, or you can come to Supta Baddha feet, butterfly feet. Hands are wherever feels comfortable. And then start to tap into your breath. So your eyes can come to close. Take a full breath in your nose. Open your mouth side out. One more like that. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh it out. And then seal your lips. The breath in is through your nose. The breath out is through your nose. And it follows, in yoga we call it Ujjayi breath. It's a Darth Vader-like sounding through the back of your throat type breath. Helps build heat and helps build energy so that we can release it. So all tight muscles is stuck energy, stuck fascia. Everything is energy though, so if you envision all of your tight spots as energy, it might help you find some release there. If your legs are starting to get antsy, just notice and see where you can stay. Notice if you're breathing with your chest, try and breathe with your diaphragm. So if you need to take your hands on your rib cage and kind of feel your ribs expand, lower than your chest and your collarbones. Take one more breath in here. Finish with a long exhale. Wherever your knees are, draw them in together. The soles of your feet come to the mat. You're gonna stride through your feet, lift your hips up, tiny bridge, and all you're gonna do is take the block out and come to sit. Then sit all the way up. The taller the block, the more intense. I never recommend it going the tallest of the ways. I call this the medium way. Just take that and place it along your low back. If this is too intense, please feel free to take it lower. If this is too intense here, you can take any sort of a blanket, another yoga mat, roll it up, and put it somewhere along your T-spine. Your head can fall back. If this is uncomfortable, take another block and put it underneath the back of your head. Hands can then come out to cactus arms. So it's goal pose cactus, 90 degrees in the elbows and in the shoulders. And just notice where the back of your hands fall. So just starting to get into a little bit of this release here. If this is too intense, please, please, please lower your block. So my rule here for intensity is always pain from a 1 to a 10. A 10 is if you are not able to breathe through it. So if you are uncomfortable here to the point of your breath is starting to be affected, please find a different level. Your breath should your pain level should be somewhere between a 6 and a 7, with 10 not being able to breathe through it. So find your middle. Notice if your back of your hands can rest closer to the ground now as we spend a little bit of moments here. And notice where your breath has gone. Can you still feel your diaphragm up through the ribs? And exhale from the bottom out, squeezing the ribs together. Take 2 more full breaths in. And a full breath out. And slowly bring one elbow to the ground and the next. And walk yourself up. Remove your block. And come to lie on your back. Feet are going to go out long. Take your right knee and hug it into your right shoulder, avoiding your rib cage here. Pull your right toes into your shin and just feel, maybe you feel a compression force in the front of your shin. Maybe you feel more of a tensile force along your glutes and your hamstrings. No right, no wrong, just feel. And then interlace your hands behind your knee. Pull your knee into your shoulder, lock it in there. Without moving your knee, start to extend your heel to the sky. Pull your toes into your face and then push your toes away. So you're pulling them in and pointing them like you press on the gas. If you feel any sensation into your glutes, that's great. If you feel nothing, that's also great. If you have sciatic nerve issues, this is your jam. You need to do this all day, every day. Just keep pointing and pulling. You can do some circles if that feels good and necessary. And then hug your right knee back into your chest. Hug your left knee into your chest as well. Knees can be apart or together. For me, I feel compressive forces in the front of my hips when I pull my knees together, so I prefer to take them a little wider. Your choice. And then release the right leg. Hug your left knee into your left shoulder. Pull your left toes into your face. And then interlace your hands behind your left knee. Pull your left knee in, kind of lock that in, and start to extend your left heel to the sky, pulling your left toes to your face, and then press them away. Pull them in. I call these nerve glides. Again, these are great if you have any sciatic nerve issues. And you can point and pull at your own rate. Add some circles in if that feels good. And then hug your right knee in to meet the left. Give yourself a big squeeze. On your inhale, bring your forehead to meet your knees. Stay on your exhale, draw your belly up and in. Take one more big breath in. On your exhale, everything goes long. And grab your tennis ball. You're going to come to lie on your left side. Notice where your shoulder blade is. You're going to take your tennis ball somewhere between your shoulder blade and your spine. It will not be on your spine and it will not be on your shoulder blade. From here, come back to lay on your back as best you can. You're going to go palm up as you extend the right arm long. Find a spot that doesn't feel great. That's how you know you're doing it right. And then from here, we're just going to start by bringing the palm to the floor and the palm back up. Wherever feels comfortable, palm to the floor and palm back up. Notice where your pain level is at. If you are above a 6 or a 7, again, 10 is not being able to breathe through it. You have done too much. Roll off to your left side just a little bit more. And then from here, we're going to make almost like snow angels. You're going to take your palm up and start to bring your hand up overhead. Once you find a spot where it does not feel great, pause there. And do your palm down and palm up again. Palm down, palm up, palm down, palm up. And if it feels okay, start to move up just a little bit more. As soon as you get to around 90 degrees, pause there. Palm down, palm up. And again, you can move through this as slowly as you'd like. Start to bring your hand up just a little higher. Try and sink into it. So imagine the ball coming into your shoulder blade as you bring your palm down and you bring your palm up. You are melting around your tennis ball. You are melting your tennis ball into your shoulder. Well, really into your back. And bring your hand up somewhere overhead-ish. Palm down, palm up, palm down, palm up. I have never been able to make my arm all the way overhead, so no pressure if not. From here, draw your elbow into your side, draw your thumb closer to your shoulder, bring your palm down, bring your right hand to your belly button, roll off, grab your tennis ball and switch sides. So roll off to the right, take your tennis ball somewhere between your shoulder blade and your spine, and come back to center as best you can. And the same thing goes here. Find your hot spot, palm down, palm up on the left side. You are trying to be as squared as possible, so it's that same melting sensation in the left side. And if you're ready, start to bring your palm up, bring your hand up just a little bit higher. Find your hot spot, palm down, palm up. And if this doesn't elicit much stress or strain, feel free to move the ball around. Feel free to bring it up, bring it down. It might be a little bit tighter closer to your neck, or maybe a little bit more in your mid-spine. Everyone's different. So if the shoulder blade and the spine somewhere between there does not feel tight for you, you might be the only one, but please, please put the tennis ball wherever you need. And if you're ready, palm goes up, bring your hand up just a little higher, palm down, palm up. Bring your hand up a little bit more. Again, somewhere around 90 degrees. And then trying to relax those muscles in the back. Bring your hand up for one more spot. Palm down, palm up, palm down, palm up. And slowly bring your left hand down, your elbow to your side. Left hand comes to your ribs, roll off to the right. Take your tennis ball and just place it next to your mat. Take your right hand to your left shoulder, your left hand to your right. Give yourself a big hug, almost like you can pull your shoulder blades. Start to round your spine up and all the way back down. Tuck your chin into your chest like you can roll out, mini sit-up, but really feel your back pressing into the mat. Slowly roll yourself down, hug your knees into your chest. Start to rock north and south. And come to your hands and knees. From here, just start to feel settled. Feel your feet on the mat, toes can be pointed or curled. Feel your knees even on the mat. Feel the weight even. You can rock side to side and kind of feel that. And then put the weight more into your hands. Really press your spine up to the sky. Start to round your shoulders. This is protraction. So you want to feel the space between your shoulder blades pressing up to the sky. And then add some retraction as your heart sinks to the floor. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then puff and press away. This is your cat position, but just the shoulder blades. So belly pulls up and in. Sink your chest to the floor, your heart to the floor. Press away, protraction. Squeeze your shoulder blades away. Together, retraction. And then make these bigger. So protract and then tuck your pelvis under. Find your cat position, chin to chest. On your inhale, stay. On your exhale, look up. Belly sinks, cow. Inhale, chin to chest, belly rises. Exhale, belly sinks, look up. Just finding some normal cat-cows. But switching the breath, so we're taking an inhale as you find cat pose. Feel the lungs expand as your chest expands. And then on your exhale, when the lungs get smaller, you compress and squeeze your shoulder blades towards your glutes. Take one more inhale. Take one more exhale. And then curl your toes under, come to sit. Your heels come to sit on your heels. Take your left elbow between your knees, and your right hand's gonna come to your low back. On an inhale, bring your right shoulder down. On an exhale, look over your right shoulder, rotate up to the sky. Inhale, down. Exhale, twist. So we twist on the exhale because our lungs are empty. Inhale, exhale, rotate. One more time in. Exhale, twist. Inhale, come back to center. Switch sides. Take your left hand behind your back, palm faces up. On your inhale, left shoulder down. Exhale, look over your left shoulder, rotate up to the sky. Inhale, shoulder down, elbow down. Exhale, twist. Good, inhale. Exhale, twist a little deeper. And 2 more twists, in and out. 1 more breath in. 1 more breath out. Bring your elbows down and come to a tall kneel. Reach for your tennis ball. Curl your toes under. Take the tennis ball underneath your behind your right knee somewhere, and just start to shift back and forward. Shift back, shift forward, shift back, stay. So notice if the tennis ball has lost where it is, it's probably rocked off of something that's hard and needs some loving. So find your tight spot. And from here, all you're gonna do is just point your toes and come to sit a little bit deeper. So with the toes curled under, we actually put the calf on a little bit of a stretch. This might be more intense. When you point the toes and you come to sit, the calf is actually not stretched, right? Since we're in plantar flexion, we put the calf on a slack. So this might be a little bit easier for you, but it will allow you to open up the muscle just a little bit deeper. So as you start to shift back, notice if the muscle wants to let go, and notice if you're holding tension. Shift the weight off of your tennis ball, roll it down your calf just a little bit further, and come to sit once more. So you might have to kind of sit a little bit further back each time, and that's totally fine. Just find your spots. And then I kind of like to shift my hips side to side. Doesn't feel great, but necessary. And always, always, always finding your breath, following your breath, and noticing where your pain level is at, mandatory. When you're ready, start to rock the weight back into your hands. Take your tennis ball, place it behind your left knee, and come to shift back. Curl your toes under first, so kick back, rock your weight forward, kick back. You can do this as many times as you need to feel comfortable. And then sit back and stay. And find your breath. And you can work on pointing your toes. Again, putting the calf on some slack and sitting back. You can also feel free to come onto your elbows if you want to take a little bit of the pressure off of your calf. You can come onto your elbows and just start to shift your weight forward. That will help take some of the pressure off if it's too intense for you. And then shift your weight back forward. Take your tennis ball, roll it down your calf just a bit. Come to sit. Walk your hands back as much as you need to feel a little bit of intensity. And sit back. And if it feels okay, if you want a little bit more, just start to wiggle your hips a little bit side to side. Notice how that changes. And shift the weight back into your hands. Take your tennis ball, keep it close by. Come to your hands and knees. Feel the weight even in your hands and even in your toes. From here, pull your belly up and in, press your shoulder blades away. A little bit of protraction. Like your hands can spin to the outside. Middle fingers are going to face the outside corners of your mat. Pressing the floor away, kick your right foot back behind you. Pulling your belly up and in, knitting your ribs together, kick your left arm long. Pull your belly in here. Left toes can be curled or toes can be flat, your choice. On an inhale, bring your elbow to your knee, start to fire up your core. On an exhale, press everything long. Inhale, elbow to knee, maybe they touch, maybe they don't. Exhale long. One more time, pull in, squeeze and hold. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Inhale, kick long. Exhale, hands and knees down. Left foot kicks. Right hand reaches long. Thumb is up to the sky. Pull your belly up and in. Again, no dumping in your low back. Pull your belly in. Keep your ribs together. On an inhale, elbow reaches your knee. Pull your knee up and into your chest. Exhale, kick long. Inhale, pull in. Exhale, press away. Pull in. Press away. One more time. Pull in and hold. Stay for your exhale. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, hands and knees down. Curl your toes. Sit back on your heels. Just feel the bottom of your feet. From here, you're gonna rock the weight into your hands. Kick your right foot long. Let your toes face the outside. So your right toes face the right side. You're gonna swing your leg out in front of you and let your right toes come down. Pinky toe, big toe, everything on the mat. From here, just start to shift your weight back behind you. And then rock your weight forward. Rock your weight back. Rock your weight forward, leaving the big toe and the pinky toe down. Rock your weight back and hold. You should feel this stretch on your right inner thigh. If you feel it on the left side, that's fine too. And then find some cat-cows here. So really focus on the pelvis. Stick your booty out and then tuck your booty under. Notice which way you have much more space. Tuck your booty out and tuck it under. Out. And this is like your cat. This is like your cow. This is like your cat. One more time, cow. Find your cat. Pull your toes into your shin. Pick your right foot up. Swing it back and behind you, and then bring your knees together. On your inhale, kick your left leg long. Left toes face the left side. Pull your left toes to your face. Swing the left foot out. Drop the left toes to the mat. Big toe, pinky toe down. Start to shift the weight back and shift your weight forward. And back. And forward. And back. And forward. And then shift your weight back and find your cat-cows here. So belly sinks, tuck your tailbone under. Belly sinks, almost like you can flare your booty out. Tuck everything under around your spine. Sit back and tuck. Yeah. One more time, find your cow. Find your cat. Pull the left toes to your face, lift your left foot up, feel your glute there, swing your foot back and around, and bring your knees together. Curl your toes, sit back, feel the bottoms of your feet want to open up. Shift the weight back into your hands. Come to lie on your right side. Bring your tennis ball with you. So you have a big bone on the outside, part of your hip. It's called your greater trochanter. Take your hands full palm to the outside of your left leg and twist and shout your leg. You should feel a big bone, probably feels like a circle, somewhere on the outside of your leg. You want to go behind that. So for me, my trochanter is here. You want to go somewhere behind that. You might feel a tender spot. This is your gluteus medius. You're going to take your tennis ball not on the bone. Keeping it there, come to lie on your right side. I like to take my left leg and leave it out in front of me. Crossed up and over, Jane Fonda style. Because this way I can use my left leg to take some of the pressure off of the right hip, especially if this is too intense for you. So find your happy spot. Happy spot might not be where it feels the best, might be where it feels the worst. And then from here, just curl the right toes up to your face. So just pull them up. And we're just gonna hang out here. Let this feel good. And then if you can, curl the right toes to your shin. Start to lift the right ankle up and down. Tiny, tiny, tiny little movements, just up and down. Little active release for you. Drop your heel to the ground, just lift your knee up and down. Knee up on the right side and down. Again, you have your left foot here. So whatever you need to take some of this pressure off, you have your elbow and you have your foot on the left side to help take some of this pressure off. From here, start to just slide down and up. Tiny, you can make circles. Just start to wiggle your hips just a little bit. Find a new tight spot and hang out there. And same thing here, you want to lift the heel and drop the heel. Lift the heel, drop the heel. Lift and drop. One more time. And then the right knee up and down. Just nice and tiny. Shouldn't feel great. And when you're ready, walk yourself up. Shake that hip out. You're gonna come all the way down to lay on your left side. So before we hit the left side, we're gonna activate back through the right side. So come down to lay on the left side. Take your hand right where the tennis ball just was, and pretending like you have a pole through your hips. Your knees are stacked about 90 degrees away from your hip. Your ankles are together. We're gonna find some clamshells. So you keep your ankles together. You're gonna bring your knees apart. Do not roll backwards, you'll miss the point. Keep your hand right where your tennis ball just was, and lift. Notice if that muscle is actually activating. For that muscle to actually activate, you should feel it kind of shorten. You might feel that muscle almost like it's flexing for you. That's how you know the muscle is working. We're gonna hit some of these guys, and then leave your knees together, bring your ankles apart. Just up and down, your pace, not fast, but not too slow. And then my favorite is this combo clam. You're gonna bring your knee about thumb to pinky finger width distance apart. Hold your right knee where it is. Keep your hand right where the glute is, and then you're gonna leave your right knee where it is. Lift the right ankle, drop the right ankle. Lift the right ankle, drop the right ankle. Again, notice if your glute, the muscle where your ball was, is actually firing up here. It should be. If you only feel the front of your hip activating, probably your TFL, and it probably does that for you a lot. We need the glutes to fire up. Super important. Up and down, up and down. If you're feeling the burn, you're doing it right. 2 more, up and down and up and down. Rest. Shake the right leg out if you need. Work your way back up to a comfortable seat. Take your left foot long in front of you. Little twist and shout. Feel the greater trochanter on the left side. And again, the tennis ball goes behind that hard bone you were just feeling and come back to lay on your left side. I like to stay on my left elbow, take the right foot up and across. Again, a little Jane Fonda action for you here. Come to lie on your ball. Find a hot spot. And just try and melt into that. From there, you're gonna lift your left ankle and drop your left ankle. Lift, up and down. This can be as small, you might not even be able to move it at all. Totally fine. Just notice where you're at today. Up and down, up and down. Then let your foot drop, lift your knee. Again, these motions can be small, small, small. One more, up and down, wiggled around just a little bit, find a new spot. Find another tight spot, it probably isn't too far away. Notice where has your breath gone. Lift your left ankle and drop, lift and drop. Then leave your ankle down, lift your knee, and drop. And wiggle around, work yourself back up. Remove your tennis ball, come to lie on your right side. We have to activate through the left. Same thing here, take your left hand to your left hip, right where the tennis ball just was. Leaving your hips like they have a pole going through them. Knees are gonna be stacked on top of each other, thighs about 45 degrees from your hips. Keeping your ankles together, lift your knees apart. Ankles together, knees apart. Again, I call these clamshells. Keep your hand on your glutes, gluteus medius specifically, and notice if that muscle is firing. Keep going up and down. And then leave your knees together, bring your ankles apart. Call these reverse clamps. After about 10, bring your knees about from thumb to pinky finger width distance apart. Hold your knee where it's at. Bring your left hand back to your left glute. Lift your left ankle, drop your left ankle. Lift and drop. Lift and drop. 10 of them in a row. Notice where you hit fatigue. After 10, drop your knees. Come to lie on your belly. Take your tennis ball with you. So we've hit the shoulder blades, we've hit the glutes, we're gonna hit the quads next. Take your tennis ball underneath your right quad and you are going to place it somewhere in the middle. Females tend to have tighter outside quads. Gentlemen tend to have tighter inside quads. You might be tighter on the inside versus the outside. Just typical is women's going to be a little bit tighter on the vastus lateralis, that is the lateral quad. Gentlemen on the vastus medialis, of course, the middle quad. So we'll start on the right side. Find your tight spot, starting down closer to your knee. From here, the further you sit up, the more intense this will be. So start on your elbows. If you want a little bit more, you can press into your hands. If you want a little bit less, come to lie on your belly. And then from here, you're going to pull your right toes up to your face and then hug your right heel into your bum. Start off small. The motion can get bigger as you tend to relax into it. Start off small. Keep trying to just bring your heel into your bum. Slowly go away. Heel to bum. Slowly go down. Hug your heel into your bum. Shift back just a little bit. So you're shifting your weight towards your heels. The ball should roll up your quad just a bit. And then you're just up and down again. Bring your heel up and down. Up and down. And if you're noticing the ball wants to slide towards the middle because the outside is pushing it towards the middle, the outside's probably tight. So I'm going to challenge you to slowly start to find some rotation either in your whole body or in the lower leg. So for me, the ball wants to fall towards the midline. So I'm going to take my right leg and internally rotate it just a little bit. So you're going to bring the heel out and the toes in just a touch, and then find your heel to bum. This totally intensifies the stretch for me personally, but find your spot and find what works for you. Any stress or strain in your low back, if you're on your elbows, bring your head down. Good, heel to bum, big squeeze. One more time to roll back just a little bit and drop your heel and lift. Drop and lift. About 10 in each position, the more the better, especially if you're really tight. And if you're starting to feel a little bit of heat, especially in the front of your quad, beautiful, beautiful thing. That is a release of energy. That is what we want. Good. Straighten your right leg. Come off of your tennis ball. We have to do the left side. Take your tennis ball closer to your knee on the left side. Come back to lie on your belly. Again, forearms or your belly, or you can press into your hands. Curl your left toes up to your face and slowly start to bring your heel into your bum. Again, starting off small, and just follow whatever you need. This can be as fast or as slow. I don't ever recommend going very fast. The slower the better. The slower the more intense, I should say. And again, just notice your breath. Hug your heel into your bum, start to shift back just a touch. And keep going with your heel to bum. Notice if the left side feels way different than the right. And then curl your heel to your bum one more time to slide down. And kick and extend your leg. Again, on this side, I'm still going to do that little internal rotation. Where I need it, where I need to feel it is a little bit more to the outside. If you need it a little bit more to the inside, you're going to do the exact opposite. Bring your toes out and leave your heel in. And it's still that heel to bum, but the ball should move a little bit more towards the middle thigh versus toes and heels out, which will get you a little bit more onto the lateral thigh on the outside. After about 10, hug your heel in. Let your leg go long, come off of your ball. Bring your ball up to the front of your mat. And just come to lie on your belly. Notice the heat. Feel all the good work you've already put in. Feel how the hips can finally relax. And we'll get into the front side of your shoulder. So take your tennis ball and you're going to place it underneath your pec. So that is between your shoulder blade and your chest, towards the outside. You're going to take it down, bring your hand out to cactus goalpost arms, and your gaze is going to go towards the left, away from your shoulder. And from here, if you need a little bit more, and if this feels okay, inhale, lift your left leg up. You're going to cross it over your back and come to lie still on your side. Tennis ball is still tucked in. You can take your left hand to the ball if you're losing it and just start to feel that opening. If this does not feel good on your back, stay on your belly. If this is too intense on your shoulder, you can leave your knees down and kind of rock a little bit more weight towards your belly. So a little shoulder opener mixed now with a different fulcrum point to make this a little bit more intense for you. And finding your breath, settling in, trying to melt the tennis ball into your shoulder. Slowly come to lie on your belly. Switch sides. Tennis ball will come to the left shoulder, cactus the left arm, somewhere in your pec region, and then lift. Come to lie on your belly first. If you want a little bit more, lift your right leg up. You're going to send it across your back. Same thing here. Just finding your breath. What feels good? Notice if the left versus right side is more intense. And slowly come back onto your belly. Remove your tennis ball. And walk yourself up from your tabletop position. Curl your toes, sit back, active child's pose. You're pressing your hands in so you feel the bottom of your feet start to open. Come back into your tabletop. Kick your right leg long. Step it outside your right hand. From here, we're just in a little low lunge. Start to work yourself up. Hands can come onto your right quad. Start to lean forward. Toes can be pointed or toes can be curled in the back. Just start to feel the hip flexor turn on. So from here, you're gonna tuck under just a little bit, squeeze your glutes, lift your left arm up overhead. Start to feel this whole left side body wanting to open. It's not about going as deep as you can. It's more about keeping the integration of your ribs, a little bit of tuck of the tailbone. Lift your left arm up and just start to lean forward just a touch. With the left glute squeeze, you should feel the left hip flexor wanting to open. On your inhale, look up, reach up. On your exhale, sit back into your left heel, straighten your right leg, find some sort of a hamstring stretch here. So again, I don't recommend rounding your spine. I'd rather see a really, really flat spine and you be up here versus rounding and you come down and you bring your knee to your nose. I'd rather it look a little bit taller because then you're really activating. Drive your right heel down into the ground, almost like you can energetically sweep it up. Start to feel the right hamstring fire up. Take one more breath in. One more exhale, reach with your heart forward. Bend back into your right knee, hands come down inside. Bring your knees together, kick your left leg long. Step it outside your left hand. Same thing here. Walk yourself up. Tuck your tailbone under. Reach your right arm up to the sky, squeezing through the right glute. Start to shift forward just a touch. Pull your belly up and in, knitting your ribs together. Take a breath in, reach up. Exhale, shift forward just a touch. One more full breath in. Exhale, shift back, hamstring stretch, left side. Pull your left toes to your face. Almost like you can have the flattest spine, and it's almost this cow position in your low back will help you turn the hamstring on. Drive your left heel down into the ground like you can energetically sweep it back, so your heel wants to come almost to your bum, but there's no movement. Full breath in. Full breath out. One more breath in. On your exhale, start to shift forward. Keeping your left foot to the top of your mat, you're gonna bring your right foot to meet it, Malasana squat. From here, just start to open up. Hands can come to your heart. Pressing your palms in together, start to peel everything open. And all you're gonna do, take your tennis ball. You're gonna take your tennis ball underneath your right knee. And then start to just shift your weight back towards the right. If it's too intense, you can bring your hands down. You can also come up onto your toes. If you come up onto your toes, the left toes, this is gonna take the weight off of the right side for you. If your right toes are up, just notice if your calf feels extra tight. See if you can sink your heel down just a little bit, take some of that pressure off. If you need to roll up your mat or a towel roll to place underneath your right heel, if your heels are off the mat, I welcome you to do so as well. Following your breath, what needs to open and release, and where can you soften your calf, your hamstring, where can you soften? Shift the weight back into your left foot, take the tennis ball, shift it over to the left, take it behind your knee, and same thing here. Just start to rock the weight over to your left side. Notice if this side feels way tighter, maybe way looser than the right side. You can play with shifting forward, shifting back. Shifting left, shifting right. And take the tennis ball out. Place it in front of you. Take your right wrist underneath your right knee, behind your right knee. And then sit on your wrist. If you have hand, wrist, carpal tunnel, any of these issues, this is really great for you. So tingling in the fingers, totally normal, but you're just gonna start to make fists. And then make a fist, hold a fist, find some circles. One way. About 10 of them, and then switch directions. So sometimes we restrict the blood flow but still ask for movement. You can keep switching directions. You can do the alphabet in cursive, whatever suits your fancy. And then one more time, big fingers, fist, big fingers, fist, big fingers, fist, big fingers, fist. Keep going, keep going. Shift the weight off the right, shake your right hand out. Switch to the left. Left wrist underneath behind your knee. And first, just big hands and wrist. Fingers wide and wrist. And fist and fist. Make a fist, find some circles. After about 10, switch directions. And then you have 10 more. Spread your fingers, make a fist. Spread and fist. And release your left. Shake it out, shake it out. I like to kind of give my forearms a little bit of love. It just looks like some punching, but all is well. And when you're ready, forward fold, top of your mat. On an inhale, slowly reach and rise tall. Arms sweep up overhead. On your exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Take your tennis ball underneath your right foot. So anywhere in the middle of your arch is beautiful. Start to just add some baby movements. Arch of your foot is going to be tighter probably than anywhere else. Maybe the ball of your toes. But starting towards the arch of your foot, just start to roll. Maybe it looks like circles, clockwise, counterclockwise. Maybe it just looks like forward and back. No right, no wrong. Just notice what you need. Notice what feels tight. And then find the balls of your toes. Shift side to side. Maybe some circles. Adding as much pressure as you need from your body weight to feel less than your 6 to 7 pain. And then make it a little faster. So sometimes we use friction to our advantage. Friction helps the fascia release as well. And then step off of your tennis ball. Bring the weight into your right foot and the tennis ball underneath your left foot. Same thing here, start in the arch of your foot. Just kind of exploring the bottom of your feet. Probably something that doesn't get a lot of love throughout the day. So if they're singing to you, just sing back. And then finding some circles. Maybe you're ready for the balls of your toes. You can go side to side, maybe front and back, add some circles up there. Popping and clicking, totally normal. Adding as much body weight as you need to let this feel good. If you find a very tight spot, I welcome you to hang out there and take a few breaths, whatever you need. And then move a little faster. So again, we use friction as a friend. It is not always a foe. Then notice if the left versus right side is a little bit tighter. And then get the ball out of your way. Come stand at the top of your mat, feet together. On an inhale, reach and rise, arms sweep up. On an exhale, forward fold. Stay here. Notice your range of motion. Fascia starts at the bottom of our feet. Notice if this forward fold feels different. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shin, shoulders plug into your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach and rise, arms sweep up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Halfway, shoulders plug in. Plant your hands, step back, high plank. Press and round. Come onto your shoulder blades if this protraction is not accessible for you. Shift your weight forward, look up. Notice how that challenges the entire front side of your body. Exhale, slowly lower onto your belly. Bring your hands out to a capital letter T. Forehead down on the mat. On an inhale, just the arms lift up. Feel your shoulder blades, shoulders coming out of your ears, shoulder blades squeezing together. Exhale, lower the arms. Inhale, everything lifts up and off the mat together. Feet, legs, arms, look up, lift up. Inhale, exhale, slowly lower. One more time. Big breath in. Open mouth, let it go. Inhale, reach up, everything up and off the mat. On an exhale, just the hands come down. On an inhale, hands come up. Exhale, lower just your feet. Inhale, lift up. Fullest breath in, reach up. Exhale, slowly lower down. Bend your knees. Wiggle your feet side to side like windshield wipers. And then extend your legs long. You can stay here for your final rest or come to lie on your back. Settling into your Shavasana, notice the left versus right sides. Notice if the weight feels even in your left versus right side. Filling your belly fully up. Biggest exhale yet. Shavasana. And start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, your ankles and your wrists. Reach your hands overhead, give yourself a big pull in half. Hug your knees into your chest. With your eyes closed, come to lie on your right side. We lie off to the right to leave the heart elevated for just one more moment. When you're ready, press yourself up to a comfortable seat. With your hands at your heart and your eyes to close. Take a big breath in together. Open mouth, let it go. With so much love and gratitude, the light, the love, and the teacher in me sees, honors, and loves the light, the love, and the teacher in each and every one of you. From our hearts to our third eye, together we bow. Namaste. Thank you so much for allowing me to lead you through this myofascial flow. I hope that it left you feeling really great, relaxed, renewed, rejuvenated. Please feel free to come back to any of these postures that you love or hated. The ones you hated the most are the ones you probably need the most. Namaste.